Hey guys, welcome back to The Interceptor. We are here with another Alliance War video, and this is going to be the first war of the new season, which I believe is 62? I honestly forget. Let me check. I'm going to open YouTube and check what last season was, because I don't remember. Okay, last one was 60, so this is 61. War 1 of Season 61, and AOH has matched up against 2-1-1, and I did just skip me boosting this war, but we're starting out with Dark Phoenix on Node 8, a fight that I was relieved from doing last season because of Nico being in the game. However, now you can ban Nico, so she was banned, which, no surprise there. This is still a very safe fight with Hood. Like, there's no way I would ever die to this unless Dark Phoenix threw special ones into my hard block literally every single time. Like, that's what it would take for the fight to go badly. I was hoping that heavy attack would kill, but it ended up not killing because of inequity. It got her to like 10%, but I had 3 or 4 hazard shift debuffs on me at the time. Normally that would have killed, and we would have finished with like 90% health in that fight, but it's okay. And we actually have Valkyrie in war today, which is kind of crazy. We're going to be taking 2 rank 4 6-stars with Valkyrie this war, both on hazard shift, because Path 9 kind of made sense for my team, and Valkyrie was the only champion I could come up with that can do both fights. However, we are going to get hit in both fights with Valkyrie, which is great, because 6-stars have really tiny health pools. I'm going to speed it up, because this is a awful matchup for Valkyrie. Viv Vision, bleed immune, which basically just halves Valkyrie's damage roughly, so it's going to take about twice as long, combined with the fact that I'm punching up 2 ranks. I just want to show this important part of the fight here. We're going to revert our combo into the L2, which is just a really safe way to revert it. And then I don't think I'm ever going to reach a striker in this fight, but let's say you're playing Valkyrie in BGs, you would normally reach a striker because you don't spend the whole fight hitting into the block. You just do that for your special attacks normally, and then right after your special attacks, because you want to ramp and get to L2 as fast as possible. This obviously has the indestructible node when you get to your L1 the first time, and that's going to trigger at a pretty unfortunate moment later in the fight that I'm going to show. I think she's going to be at like 2% health, and my combo into her block would have killed, but one of the hits pushes me to an SP1. And then there I accidentally hit her once while trying to whiff a light attack, and of course it triggers a hazard shift, because why wouldn't it? Here I decide to bait out the L1 before throwing my L2, and the reason I did that is so that I guaranteed I would have an opportunity to hit into her block and do some extra damage while I had my Fury passive, because you do way more into the block. Here she's at 5%, so we're going to clean this fight off. I think right here, yeah, this next combo right here, like the first hit is going to push me to the special 1. So now she's at 1% with the indestructible, so I'm just like, okay, just chill, and now she's dead. So even if she dashed in at me, I would have just thrown the special into her face, so there was no risk of me getting intercepted there. I cut the clips because a couple of these fights are pretty long. But now we have Path 9 Section 2, and we're taking Sersi on the first node. I didn't even notice this was a rank 3 because honestly it just does not make a difference. We got pretty bad crit RNG on our first 2 heavies and not a single hit crit. And had at least 1 hit crit, then it would have triggered her glancing, and then there I noticed I had a stagger. Wait, if I had a stagger, that means a hit did crit. That's weird, it didn't trigger the glancing, because basic crits with Hood normally do. And there, I got 4 hazard shift on me in 1 L2 while I had Fate Seal up, which is just so unlucky. There, I threw that heavy late. I don't know what I was doing, but I think I'm going to throw it again here. Managed to stagger the glancing, and now she's like dead. Yeah, this was a sloppy fight, honestly. I was not happy with how this fight went, but it's whatever. It's over in 42 seconds, so it's fine. Now, this is the reason I had Valkyrie. This is Path 9 Modok. He is a tactic defender. The best counter to this placement in the game is Chi, and of course Chilth was banned in this war. Shang-Chi can't take this because of the damage reflection on the stun, and also it's like not the greatest matchup in the world into Modok, but it's doable. The tactic's actually nice here because at the beginning of the fight, before we get our full ramp, we are going to be able to get those debuffs on us to heal. However, Modok's AI is really weird in the sense that whiffing light attacks does not make him block. Like right there, it looked like he was blocking, so I dashed at him and I got auto-blocked and stunned. So once I get my first of the Pierce is what it's called? Yeah. Because, wait, is that the Pierce or is that... No, the Bulwark. Yeah. Once I get the Bulwark, I'm now stun immune because my Valkyrie is Sig 200, so you only need one to go stun immune. But, yeah, so I'm not at risk of getting stunned, but in this fight, the whiffing lights just was not forcing him to block, so I decided to do the normal thing and just go at him with a medium instead of whiffing a light first. And most of the time, because of my Sig ability, the debuff from the global is actually going to get purified by Valkyrie, which is unfortunate because it means no healing. But we're now at 51%, so I basically can't get hit for the rest of the fight, because if I get hit, he'll likely do a 5-hit combo, and he has guaranteed crits in his kit. I think it's like every 8th hit, and he'd already hit me 5 times, so if he hit me again, at least one of the hits would be a guaranteed crit. There are a bunch of the tactic debuffs slipped through. I don't really know how that happened, but it's fine because it's healing me, obviously. And yeah, this fight was a little bit long as well. I hit a couple accidental parries throughout the fight, but at this point the fight is about to be over. And I think it is not this combo, but the next one. Yeah, we bait one more special one, and there we go. Okay, so the fight is over after that. Modok does go down. So a rank 4 7-star tactic defender on Hazard Shift getting taken by 6 stars. Pretty cool. I like that a lot. So I did edit out the clip walking up to this fight because I had to heal. I had to change my boosts from the skill special boost to Mystic because my remaining 4 fights are all with Hood. This is Node 39 Maestro, the one where you gain power if you have more buffs. Really, really easy fight. Just like such an insanely hard counter to this fight. I do, unfortunately, get pushed to my special 3 because I get too many power steals. I think it's coming up in a minute. Yeah, right there. So we got like 4 power steals or 3 power steals on that L2, unfortunately. So I think we're going to bait this out while we still have the stagger on, and then I think I'm just going to full combo Striker and then a heavy kills, but I had my SP3 as backup even if it didn't kill. So very, very safe. Just unfortunately got too many power steals there and pushed me to the special 3, or I would have saved about another 15 seconds. That fight would have been done in 40, but it's fine. Still very safe. We'll go on to the next one here. This is going to be Baron Zemo on Node 41, which is the root. I think the point of this placement is that if you get rooted from the node, he will inflict bleeds on you by hitting into your block. I think that's the point. But I'm never going to get rooted because I'm just constantly hitting him. And I don't even know if he throws a single special in this fight. I honestly just don't remember. Oh yeah, we let him throw one. Oh, also, I practiced heavy countering Baron Zemo's special 1, so I'm pretty sure I do that in this fight as well. Like right here, I think I'm going to whiff. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I did practice that a couple times just in case I needed to get some bullets back, because I know the next fight after this, I don't have chances to get a bunch of bullets back, so I wanted to go into it with a decent amount of bullets. Although, right as I say that, I'm now burning a bunch with 3 back-to-back L2s, and then I think this kills. Yeah, there we go. No, left at 1% and then L2 into the block. Actually, if I'd been paying attention there, it would have been optimal for me to not throw my special 2, wait for my invisibility to expire by hard blocking, and then throw the L2, but I didn't notice that at the time. That's something I noticed watching back. Next one up here, we have this Deathless Thanos on Node 48. This is actually a placement I've never seen before. I don't think it makes a ton of sense for Deathless Thanos, but it's fine. You know, it's whatever. Hood's going to do a good job. There's also Safeguard here, but the nice thing about Hood is that the hexes get around Safeguard in the sense that instead of one big burst being calculated for Safeguard, it's actually counting them all individually. So you are just going to very easily be able to predict exactly how much you're doing with your heavy attack, because normally what you want to do with Thanos is you want to do basics and specials for the first 25% and then have enough hexes built up that you can just bypass the next phase and get him straight to 50%, and then you just repeat that once and then he's dead. And on Safeguard, you can actually do that with 100% certainty that your heavy attack will push him over to the next threshold as long as you have at least 25 hexes on. So that's what we're going to be doing in this fight, is we're going to be careful about when we're throwing our heavy attacks. Well, not like careful about when we're throwing our heavy attacks. That's the wrong way to say it. Just we will know for sure that it will kill. So right there we cross over 25, so now I know that the next chance I have to get a heavy attack off, it is going to land, and then I know that I had one miss left, so that heavy attack was guaranteed to land. But now all I need to do is repeat exactly that one more time, and then the fight will be over. And I'm very healthy. I haven't gotten hit at this point. In fact, from this point on, I believe I actually heal. Like, I think I end with more health than I currently have because of the staggers. We are going to take a little bit of Bane damage, it looks like. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. There I could have done a medium-medium combo, but I didn't notice that the Unstoppable was going to expire right after that. So, missed opportunity, but it's fine. And then here we go for the L2. The last hit is going to trigger the panic debuff from triggering Unstoppable. However, that's going to do nothing but heal me, because as long as I just don't rely on my miss while that's active, we're good. Something I did not show off in this fight, just because I wanted to be extra safe, that Hood does do for this fight, is that this fight has the stun reflection, and when Hood is invisible, he is stun immune, so you can actually parry on this node, and the only thing it does is reduce the block damage. There's no downside to it. You will never get reverse stunned. So that's actually really cool. That's also something you can do on node 49. But generally when I take Hood on node 49, it's not something I do, but it's something you can do, is my point. So now we have an Onslaught boss. Obviously, someone like Bastion would be optimal for this. However, I don't think I sent a single Bastion this war. Like, it just didn't line up. And because they updated the boss node, you now are able to stun it. However, it now has the taunt, and I would argue that overall, these changes actually make it harder to use Hood on the boss node. So in a second, I am going to speed up the clip. There we go. But this is a really good matchup. Hood into Onslaught. If you know what you're doing, if you're a good Hood player, this is a really straightforward fight, because you just need to be paying attention to when you have Neuroshock on you to make sure that you can always miss when you need to. And I am going to play this fight insanely slow, and I'm going to bait SP1s. I'm not going to let Onslaught get to the special 2 a single time in this fight. The only point of that is that I know there is absolutely zero risk to Hood ever timing out in war, unless you're taking, like, I don't even know what matchup you would have to take for a timeout to be impossible, or to be even possible. But yeah, here unfortunately I am going to get clipped by the L1. I'm going to eat the last 4 hits, and because he was being very stingy with his special 1 right before that, I did have a bunch of hexes expire naturally, which means they did way less damage than they normally would had I detonated them. And I had like over 20 built up, so that was a very significant amount of damage that I lost out on. But in this fight, we're going to be healing from the taunt. We're going to be healing from... what's the debuff he puts on you where you can't block anymore? There, the one I just had on me. I don't know what it's called because I was not paying attention. But yeah, you're going to heal in this fight. You also just heal from Hood's abilities, obviously, because he is healing. But this is a really safe fight. I'm not going to come anywhere near timing out. I believe I'm going to finish it with a minute left. So, and in a situation where I have to be fast, like let's say the war's tied and this is the last fight and I have to finish it in under 3 minutes, I definitely could have. It's just that I would have to push to special 2 and risk Onslaught throwing it. And unfortunately, with the way that ability accuracy reduction works on specials that activate in reverted controls, it is a 65% chance to fail it, but I won't know if it failed until the first hit of the L1. So you would have to block, or sorry, of the L2, you would have to block the first hit of the L2 and then dex out of the rest depending on if reverse control is triggered or not. So it is doable. It is doable to cut off over a minute off of that fight, because another large factor in that fight being that long is the fact that when I'm baiting so many L1s, the L1 is so long that I lose my Fate Seal, which means I can't prevent the taunt from me crossing over bars of power, which is something Hood does do. You will notice several times if you paid attention in that fight that if you get your power back in the middle of an L1, or sorry, of an L2, or just after, you will fail the taunt 65% of the time because it is a node that is affected by ability accuracy. It's not immune. So we did beat 2-1-1. This was a really rough war from my BG specifically. We actually dropped 11 deaths in my BG, and the other two, I believe, each had 3, but don't quote me on that. It might have been like 4 and 2 or something like that. I don't know. But we did win. 2-1-1 also had a pretty rough war, and we are just happy to get out of a performance of like this with a win, because we know we are so much better than this, and we're looking to make it up with a big bounce back next war. So that is going to be all. I'll just go over my stats quickly. Also, if you didn't notice, there's no gameplay in this video from my alt account, and that is because the time required to run 2 accounts and do all content in the game, including Alliance Quest every single day, was getting to be a little bit too much. So at least for now, maybe forever, the alt account is going to be retired. Probably not forever. Probably just for now. But for now, it's just the 1 account. So I'm sorry, you're going to have to settle for half the gameplay that you used to see. But I mean, this video is still like 17 minutes long. So that's probably because I had 2 3-minute fights and a 4-minute fight. So we are 1-0. We did win the season, or not win the season. We did win the war. 0 deaths for me so far. My PSR is at 8 out of 8, or 100%. And my Deathless streak is up to a 128 fight streak, with my main account being at an active streak of 62. My alt account ended last season at a streak of 93 fights soloed, so we're going to keep that paused until that account comes back. So obviously that would not reset because I'm not participating in war, so I couldn't die. But yeah, that's going to be all for today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.